I guess I'm just waiting on Bobby. We'll try to break down this weather slate. Several. I think I'm just going to end up on Chalk City if I'm not careful here, which is it's a little annoying because I did like a couple of options that are just going to get rained out. I like both Cleveland and Cincinnati, and I mean I have my own. I really do have my own thoughts on how to handle weather, and they're just they are definitely different. Let's put it this way. I'm not willing to take on the risk of a rainout. If it's even 50%, just because it's the way the math works. I mean, you get a zero. I mean, zeros are just you just can't overcome that, you know. And I understand that if you have weather concerns and it might keep someone low owned, but I don't think it's whoa, what is this? I'm getting some weird chats within here. I hope I'm in the right place. Anyway, what's going on, K9? So unfortunately, it's during the day, so you have maybe 30% of my attention. But you do have some of it. Let's put it that way. It's got a lot of stuff going on. But the most important thing is to make sure that the guys that you play are in games that start. Let me see what I have for now with these questionable games. Cleveland, Cincinnati. It just really seems like something I'm going to avoid, which is a little annoying. Not to mention the wind's blowing in. Yeah, K9, this is the deal. I mean, there's the Chicago-Pittsburgh game is like kind of just okay, but the Cleveland-Cincinnati game is the one that apparently is an issue. Obviously, Kansas City and St. Louis are dead. But I was hoping to get Bobby's opinion on this before we get started, because I do have some opinions on the pitching. But I definitely want to get Bobby's opinion on the Dodgers, especially Clayton Kershaw, because what you read, I mean, it seems like he's totally ready to go. Yeah, my favorite pitching comes from the same game, I think. with respect to values. Look, obviously Scherzer and Nola are the two best pitchers, but I like the value coming out of the Detroit game. I mean, I like Eovaldi and Erod, both out of that game. There he is. Let him in there. Hey, what's up, Bobby?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I got the morning schedule. For some reason, I thought it was noon my time.
That's what I told you. That's what I was telling you. It was early.
Well, yeah, that was this morning though. That was when I was already That was already when I was past it. I didn't. I don't get up at 4 a.m. usually. Well, sometimes I do. All right, but anyway, so what are we doing, Sheets? There's a lot of weather issues here.
Well, what we're doing is first of all, we're talking about Cincinnati, Cleveland. It's a little annoying to me, that game, because I really was kind of into both teams as far as hitting goes. But I'm a little different than you. I think I don't like to play weather risk, even if it's going to result in.
I don't feel like that's any different than me. I feel like I was the first person.
I thought that you don't mind if it's going to get you lower ownership. I'll just exit out.
There's no general. I don't like making general statements about it, but because it's always different. But it's hard to X out when you've got 3 games and then the other games are all terrible for hitting. That's the thing I'm struggling with, even if the Cleveland Cincinnati was going to play, the winds are blowing in 15 and 20 miles an hour in cold weather. It's not a great look, I mean, I'm okay with playing the Dodgers in Minnesota in cold weather, but at least the winds are blowing out 20 miles an hour. The combination of the cold weather and the winds blowing in is usually not a sign of teams that you want to be locking in.
And the other issue, I didn't even realize this was an issue. Now I'm seeing this, is that I was just talking about how I like both pitching from the Boston-Detroit game, but even this one's got rain. So I don't. I really had to tempt the baseball guys to say how much easier it was to play baseball than basketball. Now you got weather issues, you got all kinds of stuff. Well, let's talk about something that we do know, is that the Dodgers are going to be extremely popular. The hitting, and as games drop off, they're going to become even more popular. And I'd like to believe that Nola and what's his name and Scherzer are going to be extremely popular, especially with Boston, Detroit at risk. Because I imagine that people would play Erod and Eovaldi, I imagine, as SB2s or whatever.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? I mean, the Dodgers are tough to avoid given this context of the slate, though, right?
I totally agree, especially when you factor in the weather and everything. And even if these other games don't get rained out, it's just that the weather's. I mean, it's not like it's great weather in general. We wouldn't say a game in the 40s is great, but if it's blowing out, at least we can take that as at the very least, like sort of middling it out. You know what I mean? But it should be a boost. It's hard for me not to have the Dodgers, to be honest with you. And honestly, because I don't like that many other things, I don't even mind taking like a Buxton or some guys against Kershaw. I also don't know how long he's going to pitch in this game, his first start of the season. I think that it would be very, very unusual of them to really let him go wild. At the same time, he almost always gets his 5 innings in, even if it's his first start of the year. So I'm just a little stuck on that decision, the pitching part of it. And then the other ones are like the Cubs in Pittsburgh. You could say, okay, well, we can play these guys, but like, what do we want to play exactly? Like, these aren't good hitters. So I'm sort of like, I wanted to get some pieces of the Chicago side, but I'm looking at the lineup and I'm going, who am I really wanting to play here exactly? I still will probably squeeze some in. I guess, Ian Happ would be the best one, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel great when there's teams you don't really like stacking. And I'm still building my lineups, but my first lineup that I built was primarily a Dodgers stack with Atlanta, which is the most popular thing, obviously, that's going to be out there.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to change it. And there's ways to get different within the Dodgers stack. You know what I mean? The first thing that I did was I put Bellinger and Lux in, not just for the price savings, but also they'll be the lower owned, especially Lux. So I like the idea of trying to make sure to squeeze those guys in. That makes sense.
You'll see my screen name.
I saw your screen name. I did. I like it.
That's where I would start. I mean, boy, what has happened to him? But Bellinger is like the minimum, pretty much. It's like kind of ridiculous.
I mean, we played all of 3-4 games this season, and he's put up 26 fantasy points his last 2 games. So it's
I know. I that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the pricing doesn't mean anything. It's just people's bad algorithm. I mean, he had it struggled last year and then was great in the playoffs in big moments. So, for what it's worth, I do like Austin Barnes is one of these swing change guys as their catcher.
Oh, there you go. That's something.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, why don't you tell people that aren't aware what we're talking about there? What do you mean swing chains?
He's got a more he started trying to do it less because he had no power really. So he started trying to bulk up a little bit, and he started taking his launch angle is much higher than it ever has been before. Started last year more towards the end, although he didn't get to play much because Will Smith was great, and he was he's just our platoon catcher anyway. But he wanted to make sure to give himself a chance to be like at some point an everyday catcher, and he's trying to change it. And there's batting practice stuff that I've been watching in the off season and stuff, and all of my family's like, oh, I watch Barnes go out and hit 20 plus home runs this year, even as a platoon catcher. And it's just like there's just like buzz about it. I don't know all the details of it, but that's at 2,100, it's good enough for me anyway. You know what I mean?
What do you think of the Mets Phillies game?
I think you have 2 good pitchers, and probably the most clear weather that we don't have to worry about on the slate. I don't know. Like, it's always hard to try and I like picking off one bat maybe against guys like this, but I don't like the idea of trying to get into the stacking against Scherzer and Nola thing. But there's not a lot.
What do you think about playing the pitchers though?
Yeah, no problem with the pitchers are. I thought they're just like they're good plays.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out some builds here that I can't quite get something that I quite like, and I would like to differentiate a little bit, and I'm trying to find some things to do that. I think that with the wet worry in Cleveland, and there is an argument for that, for what you were saying, like about, hey, maybe this is a time where we could, go ahead and play it at lower, or like what you thought I would say. But the problem is I'm not sure how much lower the ownership will be. And I don't, I guess I'd be more interested in the Cleveland side, but they're both interesting. They'd both be interesting to me if I felt like this game felt sure to me. And unfortunately it's only 15 minutes after the first lock. So it's kind of hard to know what to do with it for me in that one, because I'm just going game by game here. And there's that we lost KC and St. Louis already.
Yeah.
Boston and Detroit, really bad hitting weather, low total. Both pitchers make sense. I would be nervous a little bit about playing Erod versus his former team. I definitely think Evaldi would be one of my top 2 pitchers today.
I've got a bet for you. Okay, so this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
So and I'm going to put this in literally right now. So I was looking at the Washington Atlanta game 1 of the series, like 11-2 Washington. Game 2 was like 16-1 Atlanta. I will be betting the under in this game.
Sure.
Why not? Something to do.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So anyway, let me just.
Well, what do you think of Max Fried, by the way, on a slate like this?
Yeah, I think he makes sense too. I think the pitchers for me are Evaldi, Fried. In order: Evaldi, Scherzer, Nola, Fried, Hendricks.
You don't like Erod?
I probably will use Hendricks. I just don't see a reason quite to get to Erod.
Okay.
I'd rather pitch Hendricks. Against in this particular matchup, although it's fine. It's totally fine if anybody else wants to do it. I'm just personally not leaning on that side myself right now. Boy, it is kind of rough though. To try to even finish out a lineup, because I was trying to find a way to get Dodgers, Braves. Yeah. Anyway, it's just a little tricky. I'm debating what to do with my SP2 right now. I mean, I really want to play Scherzer. I don't. The money actually does matter if I'm going to stack the Dodgers, even if I use Lux and Bellinger.
I was going to ask you that. Can you get away with playing both of those guys, Nola and Scherzer, if you start your Dodgers with Lux and Bellinger?
Yeah, and you can. I don't know.
And then Barnes, you can play.
Yeah, the problem is I don't want to do that then because I'm going to go the bottom of the order. And then I want the top guys.
Right, exactly.
You know, but I do like Barnes. He wasn't my first build. I don't want to not play Freddie Freeman. I don't want to not play Turner, and I don't want to not play Betts.
Yeah.
So those are my most important ones.
I wouldn't mind playing Muncy either.
And then Muncy is the well, actually I should have said Muncy. I should have included Muncy in that mix over there. So maybe include Muncy instead. And then it sucks because I really want to use. I'd like to play Freeman and Muncy, but I like Albies. He's like my favorite. He would be like the first place I would start today. So it's just a little bit of a shuffle.
Yep.
For what it's worth, guys like Freeman and Betts do have. I mean, they're more expensive, but like they have more upside in these types of situations because they at least can occasionally Betts especially, but they can steal bases on top of it. So even if the weather is cold and there's not a ton of hitting, it's going to benefit guys who aren't just power hitters. Although with that said, like Muncy's probably the most likely of all those guys to hit a home run today. So you just sort of have to weigh out what you want to do. Let's see if I did play Muncy, and then I'd have to skip. Yeah, it's just weird. You could skip Betts and play the Dodgers. That's kind of interesting. Doesn't feel great, but he's a guy who I don't mind skipping in stacks or in mini stacks sometimes. But in full stacks, I have a harder time with it just because he's going to be a part of something if the full stack goes off most of the time. If you're playing for the home run bets, he's just a much lower home run guy than other guys' price range in general. And I really like JD Martinez today for the Red Sox as a one-off play. I don't like the stacks there, but that's what I like. I'm still trying to figure it out. Clay Davis says he likes the Twins. Go ahead, play some Twins. No problem with it. All right. And I'm sort of distracted by a couple of site issues that are going on. Not site issues, the site's fine, but somebody having trouble getting their account reinstated for some reason. So I'm just seeing that on the other side of my screen. I almost wished I would have turned it off. It happened right as we came on air, so I was a little stumbly. But what are you doing with the Mets in Philly? Are you mixing them into your builds at all, the hitters wise?
I'm trying to see who's playing. I'm just waiting on the Cincinnati thing for a little while. I don't know if I'm going to get to any of that hitting over there. That's why somebody was saying I was hoping to get something different because right now I'm just pretty much like Dodger chalk,
Yeah. Well, at least you can get different with it. I mean, that's the one good thing about the Dodger stack. They're so deep, it doesn't really, you could go a completely different way with it and get creative that way. I mean, right. I don't think you need to. You do probably want one of like Freeman, Betts, Turner at least. Other than that, I don't know if you need to you can get creative with it. Play the Lux, Bellinger, bottom of the stack kind of thing. Either Chris Taylor and Justin Turner or something like that. That's what I would be looking to try and do. And they're cheap too. Paddock, I don't know what he's been like lately because he's been hurt for so many years, but he's very good to lefties because he's a pretty elite level changeup, but couldn't really get his other pitches down and used to have more trouble with righties. So I used to just try to play righties if I was going to play anybody against him. Now I don't know what he's like now though. Usually when guys start to fall apart, which is what happened when he started to fall apart before he got hurt, he started getting crushed by lefties. So
right.
Anyway, I'm just trying to figure it out. It's definitely not like I wasn't ready for it to be so early, so I'm still scrambling. If I did that, I guess maybe.
Let's talk about start times for a second. So the Reds, the actual lock. So if you want to play Washington, Atlanta, that's the first one. That's at 12:20. That's 15 minutes before the other two. Cleveland, Cincinnati would lock. Now again, just remind me, like if the game is not, how does it work with the delays again? Like when does it become like a locked game?
Second the game is supposed to start.
So right at 12:35. So if whatever you have at 12:35 in the Reds game can't be replaced. Okay.
Correct.
But if they go to, wasn't there something like if they announce a delay before or something? I don't remember.
I mean, they haven't announced the delay before, have they? Today?
No, not today yet. But what if it was like a 12:30 start time, and then at like noon they said game will be delayed until 2 or something like that?
Nothing
I
usually.
thought there was some. I forget, but I just seem to
Yeah, there's a
remember.
bunch of people complaining about it. I don't remember it ever being. They may have done it like on one slate or something. It's not a normal thing that we should ever
Okay.
expect.
Okay.
Yeah, the wraparound looks great with the Dodgers. I think we're on the same page there, Project Mayhem. I don't know what to do with that. I mean, the Detroit game, Kevin is saying he doesn't think it's going to play. I think that game definitely has some risk. I don't, I'm looking at it too, the weather, but it does seem like the rain isn't going to be as bad. It's still, the winds are blowing in. So, and fortunately that game, let me just get my start times here, right? That game is a little bit later than the other ones. Am I right about that? Yeah, that's
Which one? Yeah, the Detroit game's not till later.
Yeah, so I don't know, but you're not getting a bunch, like you don't have a whole bunch of pivots.
Yeah, the Detroit game and the LA game. They're the 1:10 p.m. late night hammers.
Yeah, the 1:10 p.m. late night hammer. It's really funny. I'm 100 off of having my build the exact way that I wanted it. Damn it, hate when that happens. If you pitched Hendricks, and where do you stand on Hendricks today, Sheets?
I wasn't getting to him at first, second, and third glances, but that's when I had all these other games in my radar.
Right.
I guess he's fine. I mean, right? I mean,
yeah, he's fine.
And Pittsburgh's not great.
Yeah. No, I think he's totally fine. 49, 21. It's too many Dodgers. Everything I end up with is too many Dodgers. So
yeah,
to do something different. So that's why I'm struggling with today, because it'd be easy to say, okay, well, we could find this pivot, we could find this, but when we have the games we don't even know, and like the Cleveland Cincinnati game would have been a good one, and at least middled out some of the ownership. Now I'm just wondering how many people jump off of it, and I'm going to take a look at SaberSim and just see what sort of they have for the ownerships, because they seem to be much more accurate on these things with the weather stuff than not with the weather, but much more accurate accounting for all the things people are doing, from what I've seen so far. So let's see. I want to see what we have for the Uvalde, for example. Yeah, see, so they're like, yeah, that's pretty similar. It's just one of those slates. It's really weird. Guys, you can keep popping in questions and thoughts. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do personally as well. Boy, it doesn't.
Merrill Kelly. Any love for Houston against Merrill Kelly? I can tell you this: Bobby's always considering playing against Merrill Kelly. That's always in the offing. It's always possible.
They're not playing though on this slate, so I haven't thought.
Well, that's not so late. Oh, FanDuel, they are.
Oh God, I mean, I don't even want to like. I looked at I have the FanDuel things. I went through the numbers. There's playing against Merrill Kelly or playing Merrill Kelly?
Against Merrill Kelly, Houston against Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, always against Merrill Kelly. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, wait. So here we go. So Reds Indians game delayed.
Not sure if that's good or bad for us.
Well, so this is going to test my theory. I'm not sure if the game locks at 12:30 anymore. You could be right. That it does.
If they've changed it, that would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I didn't play any. The FanDuel tournaments are just god awful.
And you want to be useful and check the rules. Let me just see something. Let me see something.
Okay. Let's see, guys. Disney's games delayed. Yeah, I guess I missed the FD thing. All the FD tournaments were gone, and I posted my plays on there, but none of it. I didn't. I just wanted to point out that it's not posted on this slate because we were talking about the one that's coming up in 20 minutes. Boy, all these other guys I wanted to play are just hard to plug in.
Okay, wait. So in the hold on. Scheduled start of the first game. It's postponed. Okay. Reds Indians game. Okay, Reds Indians game's delayed. Now, is that usually a sign they're going to play? That's usually a sign they're going to play, right? If they delay, as opposed to, or I forget how it works.
No, there's no common rule of thumb.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, in general, maybe it gives it slightly more of an edge to play, but they'll also delay a game to try to see. I don't know. Yes, it's probably a good sign, but it's really hard to know what to do with that. It is early in the day, so of course it means it's more likely to than usual.
So this is funny. This is the difference between like baseball and some other sports. So I want to brag, whatever. So I played an LOL slate, okay, and it was a 2-day slate. How about this? You ever play a 2-game slate that takes 2 days to conclude? Okay, so the first match was yesterday. I guess yesterday 4:45 in the morning. 5-game series between 2 teams, where the first team won 2-0, and then the second team came all the way back to win 3-2. Now I had 20 lineups, and only 2 of them had the winner of yesterday's slate. So I was totally on tilt because I was going to be in great shape. We was up 2-0, and then they choked. So all I had was 2 lineups going into today, which is already kind of impossible. And I had this one team, and this one team today went down 0-2, and they came all the way back to win 3-2. And DK's scoring was down. So you didn't even know what was going on. And then when they finally put it up, they put me in first place.
That's incredible.
Well, it was a 5-way chop or whatever it is, and a cash, it won 1,400. The reason I bring it up is you compare two different sports. LOL, it took me 2 full days and max sweat or whatever, and a delayed scoring to cash a 1,400. Playing you Darvish last night, I was dead in 30 seconds. So it's totally.
You weren't dead, by the way. I finished in 50th in the big one with you, Darvish.
I know, I saw that.
I had negative 10 points, I think, for my pitchers, and I still finished in place.
Yeah, that was great.
It's great, but it's also like incredibly infuriating. If I ran the other combination of pitchers that I was using, I win the tournament. It would have been kind of nice,
right?
Because I played at 25% of that. What's his name? Who went nuts? Luzardo.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and he smashed. That's totally right. You had that.
Let's see. I don't see anything here.
So I don't know. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'll probably end up playing chalk and playing the Dodgers. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing.
Yeah, you could. I mean, again, they have many ways you can stack them. That's one good thing you got.
And what am I going to do with these pitching? What am I going to do with this Detroit game?
I don't have an answer for you, man. Yeah. I currently like Eovaldi, but I don't need to force that in.
Right.
And I can play, Scherzer. I might just get weird and gross with my Dodgers stack, to be honest with you. That's probably what I'll do.
It's really funny. It was annoying because I saw like a big, early main slate, and then these games are dropping.
I know. It's so frustrating. It's so weird.
So what I think I want to do, I think I'm going to bail out. So I have a couple things I want to do, and then when after the first game locks, if you wouldn't mind, you want to do a PGA video?
Yeah, we'll do the PGA video after that.
You want to do it like at 1 maybe after, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Or whatever, whenever you're ready. I
mean, no. Right after lock would be better. Would be probably the best, I think. Because I stuff.
You just let me know. I'm ready.
Okay, sounds good, man.
I'm going to.
Don't turn off the stream because I'll still be here.
Can I leave?
You have to just mute and.
I'll just do this. I'll just take off of this.
Okay. All right, man. Take it easy. Anyway, guys, pop in with any more thoughts or questions. I know it's kind of a weird slate, and it kind of sucks, to be honest with you, to go through all of these different things with it. But I still think there's ways we can get a little bit different enough. Just even in the Dodger stack alone, there's plenty of guys you can go to that don't that at the bottom of the order that I think will keep you a little bit off of some of the chalk, including Austin Barnes, the Barnes, Lux, Bellinger as a combination, and then start your other Dodgers as you will. That's sort of a route that I'm looking at because I don't really know what else to do when you don't like that much else on the slate. The other stacks that are viable here, Atlanta, obviously massive chalk with the winds blowing in from right, just FYI. And then Cleveland, Cincinnati, we don't know what's going to happen there. Chicago, Pittsburgh. I like the idea of playing some Chicago bats. I can't figure out which bats I'd want to play outside of maybe Ian Happ. So I'm a little struggling with that one, but that is one I can get on board with a little bit. I'm just taking a look at the weather there.
Wait, guys, I have to butt in.
What?
Dude, this is like one of the greatest things ever. I'm going to get more to the bottom of this. This is going to put you in a really good mood. So I'm in an office building. I have a little office here, and there's like a hallway with like, I don't know, like 10 offices on each side, whatever. There's like no action here. It's like very, very quiet, very few things going on. So I had to get up. I had to go run, do an errand, whatever, and then go get some food. Dude, I'm walking down the hallway and I pass an office. I swear to you, our stream is playing.
No way.
Dude, in somebody's office.
That's wild, man.
I got to go find out what I got to told. And there's no way that he knows, but now he does probably.
That's wild. That is absolutely crazy. Well, let us know what happens.
I got to find out what's going on, but I will try to. I'll try to
get on the case there, Sheets.
Okay.
All right, bud. All right, so I'm leaning towards a Scherzer free. Like I cannot find a build that makes the most sense to me. So this is what I've coming up with. Evaldi, Hendricks, Scherzer, and Fried. But for Evaldi, we do have some worries about that game. You can make pivots if you're playing the Dodgers. So that's no problem. I like the idea of getting the bottom of the Dodgers stack as opposed to the top. I think it'll be a way to differentiate some ownership. I think using the righties instead of the lefties for Atlanta is a good idea because the wind's blowing in from right field at, 15 to 20. That's pretty good. Or 10 to 15. So I would try to get involved in that game. That's probably my other one. All right. Yeah, man, we have been on the same side. I actually did, let's see, what's Reds Indians game? We already got that delayed. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. And guys, you can, now that it's like, I don't know what else to add to my lineups in the meantime, you're welcome to ask about tonight's slate. I just haven't gotten dived into it yet. It's not that interesting of a slate to me. I understand that other game was on FanDuel. I just didn't play on FanDuel this morning. I did go through the plays and certain things didn't come up with for me that you had, but I don't have any problem with any of it. I don't know. It's I think that's actually probably a really good way to go on FanDuel. I wish we had those games on DraftKings where I was playing, where they had tournaments that were still reasonable. Yeah, this is one of those weird slates, and I'll probably be here just for a few more minutes. So pop in any questions or thoughts you have. How much Hendricks do you have on DK? Happ and Suzuki for the Cubs to go with LA? Okay, so there's a lot of questions there. I have Hendricks in 35% right now, which is not out of very many tournaments. Talked a little Hendricks Evaldi in the Discord a bit ago. Yeah, guys, make sure you're in the Discord. They've been talking about this stuff all day, and there is definitely an argument for Hendricks or for the Pirates on the other side. I could see going either way with that one. And I will probably get out of here shortly, so just let me know what else you guys have, because I am still trying to figure out what I am going to do here, and I'm really not sure. So that's that. All right. HR is on to Sheets. That's pretty funny. Javi Baez was scratched for what it's worth. Okay. All right. And yeah, I'm just taking a look, see if there's anything else that I'm missing and trying to get an updated weather idea. Yeah, so let me know any other questions, because otherwise I've just got to finish building my lineups with 20 minutes to go. I started doing it while we were on air, so it's going to be a little scramble here. Okay. There may be some overlay on these tournaments, by the way. So, guys, so keep an eye out for some of the sites that might have them, because I do see some spots where I could see there being an overlay. Otherwise, I am probably going to get going. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to be in Discord if anything comes up. I know we got weather concerns, so just pop on in there. I know Rody will be in there. And let's try and get some money together. So good luck, everybody.